very much, everyone.
See downloads.
John Dobson, Saman Marat. Hands up if you've got a question, please. Kevin?
Tommy, you must be happy tonight compared to last week.
I always just everything we wanted, planned. I want to credit to someone and the team was the maturity of the performance. You know, it was so clinical at the start, and then we got the lead. The way we just trapped them down, especially in the second half. Really, really good performance.
And your defence made a statement, actually. I mean, that was
I knew we'd kick the dragon, but everything about the team, like the hard stuff, the post-tackle fights, the way they set, it was defensively really, really good. Yeah.
Yeah, just double one area, perhaps we only battled just the scrum, Saji Sunday, the yellow card. That was a little disappointing, but a good experience for him as a young man. When he came up against an Argentinian, he was international player, so I mean, it's a good experience for him.
It's tough on that one, because Sars, I was just talking to him down the chain, of his big things is aggression, whether it's tackle, carry, or hit. If you lose it, while he loses it, just steps back a little bit, he's got a pancake. So I thought one corner, which was a bit tough, but that's why we put him back. I know Brock got injured, but that's why he went back on. And I think he really dominated. So we were really anxious for him to get back on. The ball coming in was more about just protecting him from a referee who obviously got a picture, well founded or not well founded the boys.
And just Leolin's he made a really good impact. I know at Ulster he was a bit exposed without being high in the tackles, but today he was quite good. He was excellent.
Yeah, it's physical, much better.
Listen.
Dobbo, it's a week of break that you guys are getting now. Do you feel that it's going to hamper your side a bit? I mean, you had a tough game against Connacht, and then an easier game now. I don't want to say it was easy. Does that sort of break that momentum that you guys are picking up now, having a tough game and then...
I think we'd struggle. Yeah, that's a good point. I think we'd struggle to build momentum on tonight. A lot went into this week. It was a heavy week. Last minute, we did a lot of work this week, planning, a lot of emotion involved after last week, even though we won. So I actually think, and we're just very thin in some areas. You also saw Brocky come off now. Netherlands still suspended. France is injured. Portugal's unwell. So I just sort of feel like we almost need to sort of regroup, because I promise you, the leadership group, it was a big week. We really, because we knew we had to change dramatically, show we're a championship team. And so I think maybe a little bit of a breather is not the worst thing in the world for us. I mean, what do you can speak?
100%. I think we've had a tough past couple of weeks. I think it's a good time actually to recoup and get together as a group. Obviously, the next 3 weeks is very, very important to us. I mean, everyone's in the race for playoffs, and it could work for you, it could work against you, but I think it's much needed after 2 very tough fixtures. And on the Benetton thing, I think Benetton was arguably the toughest game that we earmarked. But a lot of credit needs to go to the boys. I think they really performed well.
There's a chip in this whole season, since the tour, that we felt like a knife to our throats. Throughout, and then I don't think anything could go. One position just gets cleaned out injury-wise. Like right now, it's tighter. We had one stage we had 8 Springboks in the book, 7's injured. You guys have always asked me how you're going to fit all of these guys, Marnie, Damien, Warwick, and all into one. We've never had, or 4, these other sort of playmakers, but 3 now for the first time in their life. So it's just been a season where we felt like the whole time. That's why I said it's a much mental break for these guys. Because we must win. That's not bad luck. I mean, you look at that Netherlands, you watch that game last night and you see a yellow card, and you see Netherlands doing tackle school. So, he was doing tackle school this week.
You passed that,
I'm something like him.
Marcus next.
So I've got 2 questions, one for Salman and then one for the coach. Salman, it looks like you gave it all coming off around about the 53rd minute. The same for your lock partner as well. It looks like you guys went all out to put a stamp on the game. Was that part of the game plan?
Yeah, I think the depth we have in our squad is is really good. Besides the fact that we've got a number of injuries, I think a guy like JD Schickeling, if you can have him come off the bench, why not take us off at the 50th minute? Connor Evans, another quality player and a player for the future. I think that 6-2 really worked well, and the timing of the subs was really good, I think.
Actually, I just want to squeeze one more in for you. And that moment with Brocky, when he came off?
Jesus, I think everyone felt for him. Well, potentially it could be his last game. But we all made a joke with him. We said one more season. He giggled about it, so not sure if it's a yes or a no. But what a legend, and what a servant to Western Province Rugby, and just the man that he is off the field. He's got each and everyone's respect, and that's exactly what happened the second he walked off that field. Everyone realized the magnitude of the moment and what it meant to him. So it was a very, very emotional moment for us all.
Double just on Eva and Roos though, it looks like he's at his barnstorming best at the moment. There's also the number 8 position in the Springboks also maybe up for grabs there. But just your thoughts on his performance thus far. It's looking like he's...
I think very, very mature. People don't try and provoke him anymore like they used to. I think what was good about him today, we knew that Benetton had focused on, obviously, like most teams, I guess, play him and Sasha, up on the wall and that sort of stuff, And then a guy has to handle that, and he made the little tips, which is not something you expect from Evan. He was very mature. So I think he's complete and he's fully invested. He's really playing good rugby at the moment. It's not easy because it's not the breakthrough year we nobody knew. He had all those little half gaps. He's had to do some heavy moving.
Adnan.
Yeah, I was going to ask the same thing when Brocky came off, the emotion there and all of you guys going to him. Obviously, chatting to the coach now, he said he spoke about the fact that Storm is very unstructured, difficult to defend against you guys, and the only way to beat you is maybe to beat you up front. So is that an area of concern? Maybe going forward with a tighted situation. When is
He passes tackle skill against Cardiff. Tightness is a concern. Just in terms of depth, but but the rest, someone spoke beautifully to the forwards before the game and how we're going to, international pack, and they think that we knew that's their refuge, the pack and that thing, and I don't think they got any change from it, other than a couple of scrum decisions.
Yes, Gavin.
Has there been an update in France?
France is excuse the pun, a moving feast. No, he's got epidural, and then it sees how he responds to that. But he's talking nerves and referrals. It's a messy. Like I've seen this movie before, so I'm not sure.
And it's been a weird weekend in terms of the other results. Capped now by Leinster just losing to Scarlets. Does that change the landscape? Well, not them because they're behind you, but certainly Glasgow now is sort of vulnerable, and so you're not going to probably go to Loftus for a semi-final at least. Or not, maybe you want to go there. But has it changed the landscape for you at all? Or are you just focusing on yourselves?
I'll give you a teaser like that, Gav, but we were going to try and win every game. Look, the Friday night of the last weekend, we could have a look. If you want to go on an aeroplane overseas or not, But the way we work it out is if we just keep going like we are, we'll probably stay local. Probably the Sharks would be the most obvious team.
Yeah.
And I think that South African derby would be a nice one for us. So I think I don't think we're trying to. I don't think we're keen to go overseas straight away if we can. We fancy ourselves locally. A lot of what ifs come in at this stage of the season, but you never know that 4 or 5 rounds ago. Hey.
Yeah.
We're at least in a position of pride.
Nathan.
Donald, firstly, congratulations with the win. Donald, looking at the scoreline and how you guys played today, do you think you guys were tested today in terms of? So do you think you guys were tested today?
Honestly, we'll let someone answer that question. You sit in a coach's box and politely you guys see the score. That politely, mine. No, I'd be more interested because he was on the field. I'm not being funny.
Anyone can answer?
Yeah, thanks. Look, they're a really good team. We just killed them early. But, I don't know what you thought.
100%. I think Pip, going into the week, we spoke about the physicality and how mobile they actually are. People think about the physicality around Benetton, but they're actually quite mobile. And a couple of weeks ago, they played Cast in France, which is a near impossible task. And they went toe-to-toe with them. So we knew the challenge that was ahead of us. I think the guys were really invested. We knew the magnitude of the game. Everyone really understood that we needed to win this game. Not just win, but really try get a proper performance. There were times when they put us under pressure, but I felt we scrambled really well. Credit to our defense and Nomi. There was a lot of hard work that went into this week.
Just following up on that,
We can come back to you, Nathan, if you need a break.
obviously, Ulster, you guys played really well on attack. Just talking on the attack aspect, Ulster, you guys played really well. Today, you guys played another shift, and last week as well on attack basis. That was when you had Sasha and Warwick was still there the whole time. Sasha and Damien. Yeah. So now isn't it scary that Mani starts to come back and it's going to be even better? Just looking at.
Yeah. That's last we had that difficult question, so hopefully Marnie could be back for Dragons, certainly back for Cardiff. Obviously being out so long, you'd be on the bench to start, and we might deal with it later. But it's great for our attack. It's fantastic. I think also it was bear in mind we went to one at Loftus with Yuri Mattia at 10. So it's more important to me is the team and its game model and everything's. Like we can adapt. A few times we there was sure I sat here in a press conference a few weeks ago and said we're going to play half a game against Benetton with Vern Matonga and Sazi Sunday. You have to look up Vern Matonga. They was getting scrum penalties at will at the end. So that's more important for me than we worked really hard at building up depth and getting the right sort of game model and everything. So it feels good that those guys are Galacticos and they're great. But I think our culture is bigger than any of those guys.
Kieran?
Someone, 51-point victory, running in 7 tries, 3 unanswered in the first half. Do you still feel like do you feel like you guys maybe left a few points out there?
Of course, I think you always feel that in any game. But yeah, very pleased with the performance. I'm not going to delve in too much into it. We'll have a review on the game, but I feel like you always feel like there's points left out there, and but I'm very pleased with the performance.
Yeah, but
Dubbo, I bumped into Christian Stewart after the game, and I think Christian is like his late father, what type of rugby he enjoys, and Christian was just enthusing about Sasha, but also just about what the type of rugby that you're playing, that whole thing. What kind of, like you're coming to the end of the season now, that was almost like a statement performance. Okay, last week was as well, but the defence wasn't there. You sort of almost like got to that point now. I mean, there was a journalist, I won't tell you his name, in the 1990s when Province were on a good run, and he said this is like being on ecstasy when he was watching Province. And, Afrikaans, right?
Louis
Villiers.
I'm joking.
Well, you're close. But it is a bit like, I mean, you sort of almost got that thing today that I remember in the late 90s when that Men in Black and all that. I mean, how pleasing is it for you to, like, regardless of what happens between now and the end of the season, you've now sort of like got that established sort of like that DNA coming through, and you've got people like Christian Stewart who used to be negative about it.
Yeah, that's a big convert. I mean, we actually showed the team your article this week, because I think on the macro side, bigger than this result is what we're trying to do here. And I think, what I've shown the team photographs, you see the amount of blue in the crowd, jerseys, not those flags that are given out. It's just going up and up and up. It's becoming like a soccer crowd, and funny that they're going to watch the Stormers. And they're fully invested, and it's people from the whole, who represent the whole of this region. No, it's all cliche, but we see it in, and there was Benetton on a Saturday night and a long weekend, and there were 20, how many, Mike?
18.
Okay, 80.
Still good.
Still was a great crowd, a really good experience. So, you know, and we entertain them. But how I think you started the question, we actually spoke about that this morning. Last week we entertained them, but now we wanted to make a statement game. You know, because I think we actually felt like people wanted to say, okay, I enjoyed last week's Lekker experience, you know, but I actually want to know that my team's championship material. And we said we don't care if we just kick them and trap them in the corner and the Umi gets cross. You know what I mean? So I think that's the bigger picture stuff, is that we playing rugby that suits us DNA and the people resonate with it and they come coming. I mean, it's a really good space for you to go on numbers. So yeah, we want to lay on the entertainment, but I think now that people want to see us, they want to see it. We actually talked about it. We want, more important than the entertainment today was us being in the competition than they'd be able to watch us on the quarterfinal, the semi-final. You're right, it's something brewing.
But just maybe adding to what David said, just your thoughts on 6 and 7 with Paul and Marcel, how they add into that component. You lost like length and kilograms with Dixon, but there's something bubbling there that's exciting.
Yeah, great, amazing work ethics and engines, and Marcel's a great line-up forward. You wouldn't think so, but he's great. I actually thought we'd miss BJ a lot. I thought we were missing him a lot. Some of those nasty games, you know, but we get something else. Certainly not line-up why Marcel's great, but you know, it's what people might give us credit for is that we end up, I'll give someone credit for, is that we go up against an international pack today without Frans Maheva, Netlin Verscher, Francois Kitsoff, Dion Fleury and Peter Dixon, all, okay, one would have been on the bench, one of the titles, but there's a half our pack that we sort of earmarked. And then we're going and doing that sort of job, so I'm very proud of them. But I think Marcel and Paul, Marcel's great on the faster fields, but playing super rugby at the moment, we don't see BJ too much.
Anna?
Yeah, Salman, did you really expect that kind of scoreline? I think it's 2 Oceans 56 and a 5K fun run.
No, to be short, no, we didn't expect that. We definitely didn't expect that. But flip, what a performance. I'll keep saying it. Still a lot of room for improvement, but no, we didn't expect that.
Okay, guys, Leedson's the last one.
Yeah, Gabo, obviously you've walked the road with Brocky. You brought Brocky now into your coaching setup as well. How tough was it to see that, and also how special was it to see the guys circling him, embracing him when he came off, and just on his injury?
It's an emotional one, to be honest. I think you could see it from Brocky's point of view, you could see it from other players. We wanted to get to the truth now. We wanted to get Sazi back on, I didn't want Sazi to finish the game from being in the cooler book, whatever it's called, so we said that Brocky looked maybe an injury, so I actually thought he was playing, and then the news came on the radio that he was properly injured. I think we were all very sad. As Moon said, he's just such an unbelievable human being. We planned everything around the Cardiff game, that be his last of the 200 and something, I just didn't want to finish like this, but as I said to Shimmy afterwards on Supersport, I think in the sands of time, him not being able to play the last game against Cardiff will be just a speck of sand compared to the sheer rock of work he's done for this league. It's tough now, tough tonight, and we're all emotional, but there are worse things in the world. But I say that in the greater picture, it's going to be with Cardiff or just when the golf cart with the radio came, the dog came on the radio. He had said, send the golf cart. Yeah, not I can't say it. In the background from Brocky. No, it's not how we wanted to finish. And it actually puts us under a lot of pressure in terms of our roster with the tight end injuries. But I can't think of one of the giants of a man.
Who else is there? Will you get them? Corne back in now?
Corne?
Porty.
All that his name's Corne.
He's
Albert.
He's not a, he's, you know that.
Yeah, I do know that.
Pick it up sidebar with Kev.
Cool. Thanks everyone, and a special thanks to Robbie for all the value you added.
I don't think you should